Hey everyone, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and a few reality shows as well. But we're focusing on the daytime TV part of this today, and we are talking about The Bold and the Beautiful. Okay, so Bold and the Beautiful. Now, I've said it, I think I said it last week as well, but, during Steffi and Liam's wedding, everyone is, even still, is making a big deal about the fact that she ziplined in for the wedding. I mean, I'm sorry, I wasn't that impressed. If she had parachuted in, that would have been fierce, right? But ziplining, like you couldn't see the zip line. Like it just seemed like it was so dumb. That was a plot, a corny, contrived plot device. But I will say I did enjoy the Australian shoot, and I also will say, and Carolyn Hinsey, this is something we agree on. Why is it that Ivy, who used to be married to Liam and carried a torch for him, and who Steffi electrocuted. Let's talk about that. Why is it that Steffi has committed all of these crimes? She electrocuted Ivy. She killed her cousin Allie. I mean, all of those things she's done, and she hasn't really had to pay for any of them. That doesn't seem right. Now, granted, the same company that produces Bold and Beautiful produces Young and the Restless. And it did take 20 years, but Phyllis finally did, on Young and the Restless, Phyllis stood trial for crimes she committed 20 years ago. But they, of course the judge, threw the case out. But at least she finally was facing justice for the things that she had committed. So who knows, maybe in 20 years from now, when The Bold and the Beautiful celebrates their 50th anniversary, maybe Steffi will finally pay for some of her crimes. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that. Okay, so anyway, so let's leave Australia because they left that last week, but I just felt like talking about that because that was just ridiculous. Okay, so this week, kind of we saw Coco working at Forrester, and she was yeah, I remember because last week I was talking about how Katie and Quinn were having a dust up, and I was like, ooh, Katie girl, you shouldn't do that. Don't fucking poke the bear, girl. You're not gonna like it when it takes a swipe out of that face. Okay, so this week we saw Coco working at Forrester, and she was wearing her special jewelry created by Saul, which that's stupid too. I mean, seamster, is that what they call him? A seamster? Taylor. Speaking of Taylor, she was not mentioned at all in the wedding. Not all, like not even like a phone call or I wish mom was here or and all this stuff. And when Ridge is going through all this drama with Brooke, Taylor has never once been mentioned ever. Not by Eric, not by Ridge, not by Thomas or Steffi. I mean, listen. If Taylor can't come back to the show, maybe they should recast Taylor because that part is very integral to the storyline, right? I think Taylor needs to come back, right? Regardless of the actress that, if the original actress can play her, great. If not, then it doesn't matter. But I mean, she just went completely unmentioned, and that's kind of odd. And not just that, but Thorne also wasn't. Thorne has been mentioned here and there a couple of times, but he wasn't really mentioned for Steffi's wedding. Now, granted, he's her uncle, so it's not like he's her dad, but like she's her mom. But still, that seemed very out of place. No mention of her dead sister Phoebe. I mean, they were twins, And before Phoebe died, they thought Steffi died from a shark. God, I really wish that shark would have got her for real. That would have been the best. Anyways, okay, moving on. I'm sorry. I know I keep coming back to it, but there were so many plot holes in that trip. It was really annoying. The bright spot of that was Sally Spectra. I'm so glad she got to go to Australia with everyone. That's crazy. That's great. And she's gotten actually a lot of favorable press, as she should, because it is very rare that a newbie comes onto a show and immediately gets your attention. And she's got it. So good for you. Um, and I didn't know that in real life she used to date Michael from General Hospital. I never knew that. That's crazy. They showed pictures of them together, I think, in last week's episode. I'm sorry, last week's issue of Soap Opera Digest. That's crazy. They look cute together, though, but, hopefully they're still friends. He was actually very intelligent and charming and during the convention. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm wandering. Okay, back to Bold and Beautiful. So Coco is working at Forrester and she's got her special jewelry and she actually lends her brooch to Maya and Darlita. First of all, let's talk about Darlita. Darlita, I love the fact that when Sally today was giving a speech to rile the troops up to get everyone motivated, even though she was doing something she wasn't really a big fan of, Darlita actually snapped. She went, and I was like, yes, girl, yes. I wasn't really down with Darlita before because I think it's kind of, again, contrived. Saul I can buy, that he's named after his grandfather. And Sally, it's necessary that they have a new Sally Spectra. But I thought Darlita was a little much. But you know what? Whatever. I think she's great. She's great, despite the fact that I'm not a big fan of her name. Okay, and then there's Bill Spencer. Now, here's something that I really enjoy is that the writers have kind of toned him down in terms of him going after Sally a little bit. And that's good because this old man, and he's not really old, he's a hot daddy actually, but compared to Sally, he's an old man. Going after her business, I mean, it just seemed a little harsh, even for Bill Spencer, and at best, and creepy at worst, right? But this time he actually kind of, felt bad for Sally a little bit. Oh, you see a little bit of the humanity come into Bill, and that's good. That we need to see that. Especially if we want to root for him and Brooke, then we need to see more human side of Dollar Bill Spencer. And he was actually trying to hook up his son Wyatt with Sally. So I would not actually, as much as I hate the fact that Wyatt is always in a goddamn love triangle every fucking time, I wouldn't mind if for the very first time he was in a love triangle with someone other than Liam. So, if he was in a love triangle with Thomas over Sally, that would be great. Because then Caroline could come waltzing back into town and then, you've got a quadrangle. So, anyways, I do think that I like that bit of the storyline. Before it was a little bit too much, but now I think that they kind of eased up on it and it's good enough. I enjoy that a lot. Quinn and Ridge. We haven't seen too much of Quinn since Katie came over and was poking the bear. So I know that bitch is cooking up something. Wait a minute, whatever happened to Deacon? He was her confidant, even though when he wasn't her husband anymore, he still was like the guy she talked to when she had problems and shit. So whatever happened to him? Maybe she can get him to do her dirty work and, off Katie or date Katie or get Katie to move. Do something. I would love to see her push her down the stairs. Not because, I know that sounds random, but it's a soap staple to have a chick push another chick from the top of the stairs. Double points if the chick is pregnant at the time. Now, that's obviously not going to happen with Katie, but because, when Nicole did it on Days of Our Lives, that was probably the best. That was the best. It was incredible. I loved it. She did such a good job. And Jennifer Horton, oh God, I loved it. She blamed, of all people, she blamed Jennifer Horton. It was fierce. Anyways, so There was another show that did it recently too, and they didn't do it as good. But anyways, so that type of thing, I kind of would like to see that. I want to see a good cat fight just like they used to have on Dynasty. So maybe Katie and Quinn can duke it out over Eric. Who knows? Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can also hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk bold and beautiful with me. Or you can hashtag Dancing for Relevancy because that's what I'm going to be talking tomorrow. And Dancing for Relevancy, I've got a lot to say about that. I watched it yesterday. And yesterday I was exhausted too. Like I was so tired, but I was like, no, I've got to stay up and watch both Dancing for Relevancy and Vanderpump Rules. I got to watch it. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. So have a good night, everyone. Peace out and wubba wubba wubba.